Hi everyone and welcome to my summer TBR video. I am so excited to pick out all the books that I will hopefully read this summer. To spice things up a bit, I prepared some prompts that are either related to the summer season but also some more general prompts that will hopefully help me to find the books that I want to read this summer. I hope that we can match all these prompts to at least one of the books on my TBR. I think it's time that we pick the first prompt. So the first prompt is a romance. Of course, we all associate the summer season with romance books. I hope that I will find a romance. I'm not an avid romance reader, so let's see if I can find a book to match this prompt to. I did actually find two romance books, one of them being a more traditional tropey romance and the other one is more of a literary romance. So the first option is By a Thread by Lucy Score. This is a big book for a romance book in my opinion. I did read the back of this, but to be honest, it doesn't give away much except that the two characters are working together and they're kind of like enemies, and the male main character is apparently very grumpy. This is all I've gathered from the back of the book, but it's a big book, which I don't like. With romance books, I don't like when romance books are over, like, I don't know, 350 pages. So yeah, I don't know if I want to read this. I've never read anything by Lucy Score. I just know that she's super popular on Book Talk. I think her series, I don't know what it's called, but the pink and blue one, I know that everyone has read that. I haven't. I actually have the first book on my shelf, but I wasn't in the mood to pick that book. And the second option is Americana by Chimamanda Adichie. I know everything about this book despite not having read it yet. I've had it in high school, I've talked about it in university in one of my classes, but I've never actually read it, so I feel like I should. I know that Adichie is a super popular and acclaimed author, and I have read parts of this book, just like not the whole thing. As I said, I know everything that happens in this book, and this is more of a literary romance, which is right up my alley, I would say. I do prefer literary romances over like really tropey romances that are super popular like on Book Talk. So I feel like this should be the book that I match with this prompt, and this is the first book that goes on my summer TBR. It's time to pick the next prompt. Let's see what we get. Okay, so this one says a book under 300 pages, which is perfect because I am a slow reader, so the shorter the book, the better for me. So yeah, I feel like I'm gonna have a couple options for this. The two books that I would consider reading for this prompt are from the Penguin Archive series, and the first book is The New Dress by Virginia Woolf. This is a short story collection. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I am not the biggest fan of Virginia Woolf's novels. So given that I do not like her novels, I'm not sure how I will feel about her short stories, but I feel like they will be more palpable than her novels. So I'm actually really excited to read this. The second option is Emily Bronte's poetry collection, which is called No Coward Soul Is Mine. Now, I have never read any of Emily Bronte's poems. I have only read Wuthering Heights, which I thought was really good, and I'm wondering if these poems will have like a similar vibe as Wuthering Heights. I really hope so because Emily Bronte is so good at creating a gothic setting and like a gothic story in general, and I love anything from like the Victorian period, so I'm pretty sure that I will like this collection, even though I'm really dense when it comes to poetry and I'm like not, that's like not my kind of thing to read, to be honest. But for Emily Bronte, I will give it a try. But I do think that from these two options, I would rather read the short story collection by Virginia Woolf, and I hope that Virginia does not disappoint me because Mrs. Dalloway was just really not it. Let's pick prompt number 3. A book that is feminist or empowering. Of course, this is more of a general prompt, and I definitely need to go through my classics because I'm pretty sure that I will find a book that is feminist. Finding a book for this prompt was actually really hard because it's so broad. I mean, feminist is such a broad term, but I did find a book where I can confidently say that it fits the prompt, and it is A Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. I have never read this book, and I've also never seen the TV show, and I'm honestly embarrassed. I feel like this is required reading, a book that everyone should read at least once, and I have not, so I really hope that I get to it this summer. I am adamant that I will read it because, I mean, it's embarrassing to say that I've never read The Handmaid's Tale before, so can't wait to read it. On to the next prompt. A book that feels like sunshine. Oh my god, that is gonna be hard. A book that feels like sunshine, so I'm thinking of like a romance book or something lighthearted at least. I'm gonna have a look at my TBR and see if I can find something. Out of all the prompts that we've had so far, this one was certainly the most difficult one because I literally only could find one book that matches the prompt, and it's As You Like It by Shakespeare. I'm a huge fan of Shakespeare's comedies. I think they're super funny and they actually make me laugh out loud. And this one is about two cousins who dress up as men, and then all the women and girls are like head over heels for them, and I feel like it's gonna be super funny and I'm really excited to read it. A book with flowers on the cover. Now I need to go through all the books and see if they have a flower on their cover. I found two books that have flowers on their cover, and the first one is This Woven Kingdom by Tara Mafi. This is book one in the This Woven Kingdom series. I don't know if the series has a specific name, but this is book one. I have read the Shadow Me series, which I really liked, so I wanted to read the series as well, but I am honestly not sure if I should start another series because this is a large series, I think 5 or 6 books. So I don't know if I'm ready to make that kind of commitment. Speaking of commitment, I don't know if I'm ready to commit to 800 pages of a classic because the second option is Anna Karenina, which has flowers as well, and I've always wanted to read this. I know that I will love this, or at least like it. Love is a strong word. I know that I will like this book, but I mean, 800 pages. I've never read a classic this long. So I don't know if I should read this. I mean, looking at these two books, I feel like it would be smarter and more comfortable for me to read the shorter book, but I also just feel an itch to read Anna Karenina, and I feel like if I'm in the mood, I should just go for it and see how much I will be able to read this summer. So I'm choosing Insanity, kind of, and I'm putting Anna Karenina for the millionth time on my TBR. I don't have many prompts left, so let's see what the next prompt is. A book you would bring on a vacation, which is perfect because I'm flying to Turkey in 2 weeks, I want to say. So I feel like this prompt is perfect. I feel like with a prompt like this, you have so many options, and it was really hard to land on one book, but there is a certain book that I've been wanting to read for ages now, and after seeing the movie adaptation, I feel like it is only right for me to pick Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell. I absolutely loved the movie. It made me cry, which is always a good sign. I desperately wanted to read this book before watching the movie adaptation, but then I never had the time to read it, so I feel like this prompt is a great excuse for me to prioritize this book and take this with me everywhere in Turkey. I feel like it's a bit insane to pick a book that will most likely make me cry, but I feel like I need to feel something, and this book will definitely make me feel sad emotions. I picked my Joker, which is Hot Girl Summer. Get it? Hot Girl Summer. I was trying to come up with a pun, and this is the best that I could come up with. I love reading gothic novels throughout the entire year, even in summer. I don't care if it's sunny outside, give me a gothic classic. So I wanted to add this little Joker so I would have an excuse to pick a gothic novel to read this summer. When it comes to gothic novels, this is where I shine. These are some of the books that are on my TBR that I would consider reading for this prompt. Option number one, and again, I am embarrassed that I have not read this book yet. It is Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. I have actually started this book, I think, last year, but I never finished it, unfortunately. But yeah, this is a book that I have to read, honestly, as someone who also studies English literature at university. It is a shame that I have not read this book yet. Another classic that I'm embarrassed I haven't read yet is Dracula by Bram Stoker. This edition is hideous, in my opinion, but we just have to work with it. I've never read this, but I feel like I should read it. A more modern classic is Beloved by Toni Morrison, and again, I'm embarrassed that I have not read this book yet. And the last option is Weaving Shaw by Heba Al-Vasiti, and again, I'm embarrassed that I have not read this yet because I got this as an ARC and I haven't read it. Out of all these books, I think that Jane Eyre is the winner, and this is the gothic book, The Joker, that goes on my TBR because I always need something gothic to read, and this is gonna be perfect. I'm gonna pick one last prompt and hopefully we get something good. A book published in summer. Perfect, because I know exactly what I'm gonna read for this. The book that I want to read for this prompt is The Project by Annie Lord, and as you can see, this is an ARC and it comes out this July, so it's perfect for this prompt. This book is a romance book. It's all about like modern dating life because the author is also a Vogue dating columnist, so I feel like this is gonna be super fun and super engaging. I also really like the blue sprayed edges, and I'm really excited to read this book. Now that I've picked all the books that I want to read this summer, I think it's time we do a quick recap of the books that I've picked. Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell, Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte, Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy, The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood, The New Dress by Virginia Woolf, Americana by Chimamanda Adichie, The Project by Annie Lord, and lastly, As You Like It by William Shakespeare. And this of course marks the end of my summer TBR. I really hope you liked it, and let me know if you've read any of these books and what you thought of them or what you're planning on reading this summer.